What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome back as promised with our continuation to the top 12 best war robots of 2022. Why 12? I explain in just a second. Last weekend we covered place 11 to 6, okay? And if you haven't yet seen this video, I would strongly recommend starting with this first. I put the link down in the description, pinned comment for you guys, because we build on the same rule set. Best legendary pilot, best modules and drone chips that are available, so we can place them in the top state in the top meta right now. Also, I'm gonna find out with you where the new Mars robot from the test server will be placed in this meta today. So let's find that out together, and that's why you get 6 videos today, and you got 6 videos in the last video episode as well. So let's get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you have some time, and yeah, enjoy. But first, this, my friends, is Mech Arena, today's sponsor, and an awesome mobile robot shooter for your Android and iOS devices that actually requires skill in order to be good. Use my QR code on screen or the link down below to try the game out for free now with a starter pack on top. In this video here, I want to present to you 3 playstyles I really personally enjoy. The first one being the Brawler, done with the Orion robot that can dish out extra damage with its ability on top. The second one is the Assassin playstyle, done with a Cypher robot to ambush the enemy with a Shock Pulse ability and just take them out of the picture easily. Lastly, we have the good old Sniper robot using long-range railguns and stuff like this from afar. Of course, there's also multiple more playstyles like trolling with mortars or tanks, but those are the playstyles I use most of the time. Something else I like about Mech Arena is you can tell right off the bat when you can upgrade something because of the colored glow in your hanger, and then you can also see exactly what you're going to get from upgrading it, and then just go at it. Something else, you guys know I'm German, right? This month in Mech Arena we're celebrating the Oktoberfest together with the Battle Pass Season 10 and a new pilot called Boar. So it's a great time to get started playing Mech Arena. If you use my QR code on screen or the links down below, then you can kickstart your play with a free starter pack worth $25, a Firelight skin, a Prodigy crate, and a Plasma Cannon 4. And then come find me in the game under the name Just the Money. Beginning with the number 5, the Behemoth and his legendary pilot Andrei Kvasov, who really put this thing back into the meta, right? Previously, you could only run the Behemoth as a sniper. In brawling distance, you were basically an easy target for everybody. That has changed with the arrival of this legendary pilot Andrei, who really puts this thing all the way into the top 5 here, in my opinion. And it's very interesting because now you can run the Behemoth with what I consider the strongest setup here, these curvy bullets, of course, the HMGs, but also you can put all kinds of sniper laser weapons on it. The Prisma is incredibly popular on it, obviously, because it offers near instant death potential at max range, but also you can run Devastators, you can run toxic weapons, Glacier, you can run no, not Devastator, Exodus, for example, or whatever you like. You can go with short-range brawling weapons, and that is thanks to the resistance the new legendary pilot provides, and this is why it's a must-have. Without this legendary pilot, the Behemoth is nowhere near the top 10. But with that legendary pilot, the Behemoth really arrives in the meta, very high up in even, and can withstand powerful attacking brawlers, okay? Not all of them, but some of those attacks he can really withstand, and the weapon variety on this robot is outstanding. Like I said, you can literally put anything on it you want, and it's probably going to run well, right? There's a few setups I wouldn't recommend, but there's also a few fun setups you could do, like Zenith, for example, right? I mean, no robot in the game can do it as good as this one. Hey, by the way, look, did you see that, or do you see that the Luchador is stuck in the ground? He just jumps and he's still stuck in the ground. Not even the jump was able to free him from being stuck there in the ground. Very interesting, never seen that before. I thought I'd show it to you here in the top 5. Yeah, that's a few more seconds of Behemoth gameplay before we jump into the number 4. Right. So, let me just delete that Capri real quick down there. That's the Behemoth is one of the only robots who can delete a Capri like this. Seriously, man. Alright, so number 4. We're going into the Seraph now, with the legendary pilot Victoria B, who increases the flight distance, flight duration, and flight speed by 25%. Very important legendary pilot. I'm using it here with the new DK weapon, I think it's called, and it does very well. You can run curving bullets, obviously. You can even try Devastators because you are actually very fast and resistant. You can run this. There's plenty of setups you can do on it. I guess even the Expo shotguns would work well. I kind of really like here these these new plasma snipers, if we want to call them, DK. They're really interesting to me, and we're running this here. But yeah, what makes the Seraph so powerful is the rather short cooldown on his ability, the long duration on the ability, and the speed at which he goes, right? These factors make the Seraph an excellent meta machine. And also, I don't know why, but for some reason the Seraph is so tanky. Even if you just look at the HP pool, it does not look that tanky, but if I fire at it, very often I tend to kill Capris faster and easier than a Seraph walking around on the ground. I don't know if there's a mistake or if something wrong with the hitbox, but something is up with that Seraph, man. And another thing that obviously makes it powerful is the fact that its laser beam can hit all the targets in front of you. As you can see right here, we're hitting like 4 or 5 players at the same time. Some of them have shields, some of them don't, some of them take damage, some of them don't, but overall, there is a decent damage output, and it's not neglectable. It's really something you notice. If you get shot by a Seraph in his ability, even if he doesn't focus you directly, you'll take a decent amount of damage and you'll notice it. Maybe I should also mention that the target you focus directly takes the most damage. The target next to you, not next to him, will also receive a laser beam, but will not take as much damage. For those who may have not been fully aware of how the mechanic of the Seraph works, but that apparition beam is quite powerful on top, and we just got a kill with it too. Yeah, very interesting setup. However, a reason it doesn't score better than Place 4 is the fact that it doesn't get the pilot skill to restore its ability at 50%. If the Seraph had the ability on pilots to get the ability back at 50%, it would score Place 2 or 3. But because it doesn't have that, and it doesn't get that cheap extra ability flight at 50%, which I think it should not get, right? Let's be precise about it. That's why it does not score Place 3 or better in my ranking. And that's the reason why you see, in fact, Place 3 being occupied by Harpy and Sirens. We're running it here with also the sniper weapons, but also with curving bullets. You get both setups here in this video. And the reason the Harpy and Siren, I both take him in one slot. I'm not differentiating between Harpy and Siren. They're so similar, it may as well be the same robot for me. But the reason they are better, in my opinion, and above the performance of the Seraph is 2 factors. Number 1, the legendary pilot Yang Li is so much more powerful. It bypasses during the entire flight duration of Harpy and Siren all energy shields. And that in today's meta is just absolute golden right there. That is what you want, right? It enables you to do so much more damage than any other robot, mostly on the battlefield. It's still, for me, much easier to score battleship abilities or spawn titans when I use Harpy or Siren because of that legendary pilot and the immense firepower I can, undisturbed from shields, put in place against the enemies. And that alone would place, in my opinion, the Harpy and Siren over the Seraph. That legendary pilot alone would already make it better, in my opinion, than the Seraph is. And here comes the extra boost and bonus on top. The Harpy and Siren, for whatever reason, I never understood it, I never supported it, and I always felt it wrong. They both get the Deft Survivor or Clever Survivor pilot skill as well, which lets them regenerate instantly their ability cooldown to 0, or basically set it back to 0 so they can use their ability cooldown as soon as they reach 50%, which means that you can almost not attack a Siren or Harpy and drop them and kill them before they get 2 times their ability at very least. They must do a mistake in the air, basically, or damage must be coming so much in the air that they score over 50% damage or reach over 50% damage during their flight ability, which is rather unlikely because they have high resistance in the air. But yeah, it's a very difficult thing to do, and in 99% of all cases, or so let's say 90%, the Harpy and Siren get their second flight ability at 50% no matter what. And with that in combination and that Yang Li shield breaking, they are just the meta unit you want. It's that assassin robot, right? Everything that comes from now on in the list are no longer assassins, ladies and gentlemen. The robots that are coming from now on in the list are tanks, okay? And this is, in my opinion, currently your best assassin in the game, and that may already tell you something about the Orochi. the Orochi has actually fallen out of the top 10 with the recent nerf that reduces the stealth cooldown as the stealth duration, and so much that it's not as long stealth anymore. It's still a good robot, the Orochi, don't get me wrong. Here, by the way, we're running the Harpy with curvy bullets, also incredibly powerful and probably the best thing you can do if you want to score Titan spawn or battleship abilities as fast as possible. This is what's going to help you do that. Very funny ending, by the way, when I lose this. You're gonna see this in a second. But yeah, so that is the next two robots are only tanky, and therefore the Orochi is officially out of my top 10. Are you surprised? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Are you surprised that the Orochi is no longer in the top 10? Would you have thought it would be in the top 10 here in this video? It's not. Not for me, anyways. I don't know what other people are saying, but this is my ranking here, and the Orochi is no longer in. Again, it's still a good robot, but it's not that powerful anymore to be in the top 10 best meta machines of the game. And let's clarify, top 10 all robots are so good that you can actually use all of them in today's meta, right? But some of them are a little better, some of them are a little less, and yeah. So, let's go into number 2, and it's the Fender, actually with Bernadette Wolf as a legendary pilot. Again, I'm sure many of you are not surprised to see this happen, because the Fender has such a powerful popularity now. There is very few robots where you can literally walk into a 3-on-1 and know you're going to win. Like I'm doing right here. I was literally following them into this place, going into this 3-on-1 with respawning enemies, making it basically a 5-on-1 or 4-on-1 or whatever, right? And easily know I know I'm going to win. I know it, because this thing has the power to do that. And that is something incredibly special, ladies and gentlemen. Not many robots, actually I think the Fender may be the only robot offering this kind of, trust in its abilities and its sturdiness. And yeah, I took the beacon, I killed 4 robots or whatever, or I think one of them fled. He literally fled to not have to fight me. Here's another situation here that shows you the power of this Fender. We're even getting attacked by Titans in a minute from Cataclysm and Cyclone. Now Ming flying over me, hammering everything there is. But I'm just gonna stay here, man. I'm not going anywhere. We're fighting another super powerful meta Fender here. By the way, also a Fender you could very well consider running. The one I'm running here, in my opinion, is the best short-range brawler, even better than those Explo shotguns. But that's because you can't heal the damage back, and that is in today's meta also a very important ability. Those Explo shotguns, however, bypass resistance and therefore represent as well a very, very, very good alternative or powerful main armament setup. Here you see the Ao Ming above me, man. He's giving it everything there is. There's literally everything there is, and he's been firing at me for a while. And I'm still here, dude. I mean, this is just absolutely out of control. Which robot can survive this much firepower? Not many. None of them, actually. And I feel like the Fenrir is that one robot you just don't want to fight close up. So what do you think might be hidden underneath the gate number 1? Which one is the most powerful robot in the game? While I'm dying here and taking a couple of enemies with me with my low HP that I currently have, you can already start a few assumptions, I guess, and think. Some of them I think many of you will already know, because there's one robot that has not yet been in this list, and that must be coming. Despite receiving a nerf recently, robot is still here, and not just here, it's in the top 1 in my opinion. It's the Capri, with Misaki and Ponchi as a legendary pilot to prevent any kind of negative effects while the ability is running. This thing has the mobility, it has the tankiness. Look at this HP pool we have. It's Titan level HP, and that on a frickin' hovering motorcycle speedy fast super thing. Let's not forget that the Capri is actually a supporter whose job it is to heal others or provide bonuses of resistance and stuff, and yet somehow it has the mobility of a pursuer, it has the tankiness almost of a Fenrir, it does assassin jobs better than the Orochi, which is just ridiculous because that was the only thing the Orochi was there for, and it's almost as good as the Siren Harpy at doing so, and it's just so all-round and so good at every single one of those tasks that it just becomes the best period, right? I mean, for variety's sakes, I'm running this thing here with the old flamethrowers and it still kicks every ass in the game. That just shows how powerful it is. Let's put some blight on it, or scatter, or the explode shotguns, and what you end up with is something that you simply can't defeat. So the last thing to consider is where to place a new Mars robot from the 8.4 update next week in the current meta. We know the legendary pilot, now its name is Captain Clyde, who significantly boosts the damage output and fire rate of the turret of Mars when you throw it away. Maybe even 50% or so. But the robot itself remains rather fragile, similar to the Typhon robot, especially against shield breaking setups that the Typhon also has to worry about. And therefore, even knowing what the legendary pilot is, I still wouldn't place the Mars higher than between maybe Behemoth and Seraph. I'm not even sure if the Mars will be powerful enough to push the Behemoth out of the top 5. Let me know what your list looks like, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for now. And of course, I also want to say thanks to Mech Arena here for sponsoring this video. It's really a great game, especially for those who love playing robot shooters. Go ahead, check out the link down below. And other than that, I wish you a great weekend. See you soon. Manni signing off. Bye-bye.